Wow! That's the TV show that I used to watch on PBS Kids years ago. Although, I don't remember such a thing until Meet the Robinsons. This is one of the best TV shows of all time. Have you ever seen Honey, I Shrunk the Kids? Want to see the world that is much smaller? Well, imagine no more. Because, as I imagine what it looks like to be small. How about if I believe? Whoa! Where am I? I'm smaller. I am smaller. Wow, everything is big, but I'm smaller. Agent Mike here, and as you can see, I appeared in the small stature form in this dream sequence. Just like a 10-year-old kid who is smaller and seeing things big. And do you want to know what TV show I'm going to be reviewing? Give up? It's George Shrinks. This awesome 2000 animated series aired on PBS Kids is to what William Joyce and Nelvana could do. As you can see, 10-year-old George, who has his supercar that can fly and that can swim underwater, and he has his own gadgets made with his father Harold, is sure to bring him on an exciting adventures to those viewers out there. So without any further ado, here's my review of George Shrinks.
Well, the boy's kind of small.
George Shrinks.
But it doesn't show at all.
George Shrinks.
Because he's always acting tall.
George Shrinks.
George Shrinks, George Shrinks, he's called. George always seems to find a way to make his dreams come true each day. His brother Junior does a call.
George Shrinks.
Well, Daddy blows a bugle call.
George Shrinks.
And Mama keeps an eye on all.
George Shrinks.
George Shrinks. George Shrinks. George Shrinks. George Shrinks. George Shrinks.
That's my bear Wilbur. That's
George Shrinks, an animated series about a 10-year-old boy named George Shrinks, who appears to be small in stature.
That's the supercar. It may look like
He
it's
has
got lots of
Supercar,
surprises.
his
A
vehicle
bit of
that
a
can drive,
do-it-yourself kind of
fly,
think,
dive,
think.
and it's good for every other uses.
George!
Especially his brother Junior loves to play with George Shrinks.
I'm his. Morning, Junior. George.
Wow! This bathroom is sure bigger And I'm smaller. My suction cups can take me anywhere. Of course, the animation quality made by Nelvana and Jade Animation were so superior. And the best part I love about this first episode, If It Ain't Broke, where George Shrinks talks about himself and his family and every place around the house when he was small, just like the way he is.
Powered shoe shiner I've been working on, or the potato launcher. Nah.
Before we continue reviewing this episode, here's a brief info about William Joyce. William Joyce is the children's book author who wrote George Shrinks, A Day with Wilbur Robinson, and Roly Poly Oly. You might have remembered watching the previous episode where I reviewed Meet the Robinsons. It's about a boy named Lewis who invents the memory scanner. Along the way, Lewis meets with Wilbur Robinson, who takes Lewis to the future on the time machine, in a place called Todayland, which is a parody of Tomorrowland. This place is beautiful. In my previous episode, I also did cooing pigeons outside. Now that's done, let's get back to reviewing George Shrinks. As mentioned before, George has his little brother named Junior. He likes to play with him. Ah, yes. Junior, George's little brother, who helps him along the way. George has a father named Harold, who loves playing musical instruments. Although some instruments were good and some were wonky.
So he's talking about finding the perfect sound. But unless that's a
Wow, it even sounds funny. George also has his mother named Perdita. She's a good housekeeping mother and a good cook as well, and George likes to help her sometimes.
Mom was way more excited about it than Dad.
Hey! I've seen people that are bigger than me! Isn't it so exciting? The best part I love about George Shrinks is that George and Junior is looking for a rat to keep him. Oh yes, let's not forget about George's best friend, Becky Lopez, who helps George along the way, making projects and helping George completing tasks.
But hey, I think big. I can see that.
Becky, which is George's best friend, also helps him in his adventures. If I really wish I'll have a supercar of my own, then it would be so exciting. George Shrinks has its own supercar, which can turn into anything from driving to flying like an airplane and helicopter, and diving into the ocean like a submarine. The supercar can also do varieties of tricks. It was made by George's father, Harold Shrinks. Other cool things about this animated series? The coolest thing about George Shrinks is that George makes plans to make its very own car called the supercar. First, he tried the bouncing shoe, which doesn't go. Second, he tried flying from a slingshot, which almost works. And finally, sailing across through land, like a boat. Also, one of the coolest things about George Shrinks is that George, Junior, Harold, and Perdita are on the way to the beach, where George is about to discover the crab and sea turtle eggs. I like the way how George said,
Then what else is there to say but that's what it is to run naked? Hey, you!
Hey, no fair!
"Isn't it great when they like to get booted into the water? Just like good old days." Also in this episode, I love, at the beach, where George builds a sandcastle to hide the sea turtle eggs, with a little help of his crab friend. Of course, being small means doing things bigger, with the help of teamwork. If you would want to be smaller like George Shrinks, just close your eyes and imagine what it looks like. Don't worry, shrinking won't happen in reality. It's only fictional.
But hey,
Also, what I love in George Shrinks is round up the usual insects.
are you okay?
George Shrinks can talk to Becky on his walkie-talkie
Dangerous in there.
to round up something.
I laugh at danger.
He is searching for something, like he's using it as a parachute that floats, to find some insects for George and Becky's school project.
World, but tough to capture.
Wow.
Think of a way.
I even like how Becky can catch a butterfly,
Steady.
just like so. Hopefully, she'll get an A on the school project.
I got her, George. Look.
Check it out! I'm smaller as an insect, roaming around through the green grass and seeing those insects. And even though it's so much fun rounding up the usual insects. Wow, look at George is trying to pick up a grasshopper. And he rides on it too. The grasshopper is needed for an insect project. And also, I like the way how George is searching for more clues and more ideas to catch more insects with the help of his best friend, Becky. And he even has his baby shoes inside the garage, as mentioned. Can you imagine? George is trying to catch a spider with the help of Becky using an instrument to catch it? It's also great for a collection of insects. There it was, Becky, George, and Junior observing the insects carefully. And as you can see, George is trying to gather some of the insects that are escaped. The best gadget that George can cling onto Becky's explorer's hat to observe them carefully of those insects. During the party, there's a lot of insects running amok as Becky and George tries their absolute best to catch them all so that they can get an A on their school project. Now that it is done, they're hoping to get an A, as George and Becky and even Junior working together to round up the usual insects. All eyes and ears on everything what George sees, and he learns too. I also love Toy George, where George plays with the marionettes of Pinocchio and the clown puppet and the blue fairy.
Pinocchio is going to be chased by a fox and a cat, but I don't have a fox or cat puppet.
Wow! Pinocchio marionettes or puppets on a string. That's my favorite pastime.
Why are my
And I also love the way they put on a Pinocchio show together with actors and marionettes together. Of course, George likes to help them along the way, as previously mentioned. And it was a great performance. All thanks to George Shrinks.
I'm just walking around at every house to house looking for something to share it with you all.
There are so many other George Shrinks episodes with many adventures, and even George Shrinks himself has a dream of being taller like everyone else, like actual human. And also where George is a coach and a musician to help out his father, and even completes missions with the help of his best friend, Becky. But as always, George Shrinks is one of the terrific TV shows to what Nelvana and Jade animation could do, as there are many, many episodes of it. People back in 2000 to 2003 were so popular that it has been aired on PBS Kids in the year 2000. And it continues to show in Canada to this day. So George Shrinks is one of the best animated TV series ever.
Oh boy, this TV show is awesome. And looks like I'm about to be waking up. Catch you guys next time. Here I am. I'm back. So in my final thoughts for this TV show review titled George Shrinks, the animated series, to me, it is so awesome and amazing to what William Joyce could do. After all, this is so much fun when you're watching and when you're learning at the same time. So on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm giving George Shrinks 8.6. Yes, it is. You should check this TV show. It's awesome. Thank you so much for watching this awesome TV show review here at Agent Mike's Movie TV Show Revewer. Remember, I am always here all the time. So if you got any comments, any questions, or any requests, feel free to send me email here at agentmikemtr@gmail.com. You can also leave a comment or request on Facebook at facebook.com/DragonAgentProductions. And you can even leave a comment, a question, or a request on one of my YouTube videos at youtube.com/DragonAgentProd1 and let me know, and I would be greatly to respond back. This is Agent Mike saying, hope you have fun, no matter if you're small. Bye, everybody.